Frank, what what I never asked this before, but what order do you belong to?
Lovely.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay, for those who don't know, care to expand upon that?
Well, Mevlevis are, usually they're described as whirling dervishes. They usually whirl. It began after Rumi, um, Muhammad al-Haq, basically. And if you ever read Rumi poetry, and Rumi is kind of the westernized, type of outlook on things, but the order is actually based in Konya, Turkey. But is usually from that area. Uh, Usually, Rumi was actually born in Afghanistan, part of the Persian Empire back then. And basically, the order, it's not like it used to be. Like, in order for you to be like an initiate, you had to, you have to go through training for like 1,001 days, basically, and then you become fully, a dervish. But however, because of modernization, like modern times, we don't do that. Basically, the philosophy and the practice is basically the practice of love and unification of the divine. The basis is within the Quran. However, you don't have to be supposedly a Muslim to actually join the Mevlevi order. You could be any type of belief, and we're pretty much open to that. But for me in particular, I'm Muslim. However, I do belong, to the Mevlevi order, and it's been a long time, and it's kind of strange because my outlook has, how you say, like refined in a sense, and you go through a period of refinement, with your spiritual and your worldly existence. So it's a lot of the poetry comes from a lot of his writings, and how this developed. It developed through Shams Tabriz, basically Rumi's teacher. You have to keep in mind that Rumi was an established Islamic scholar. Shams Tabriz came afterwards. And there's a story that goes that one time he was in his class, Shams Tabriz just came up for the first time and basically took his books and just put it on the fire. And, he was basically shocked. And then this is when the relationship happened. And a lot of the poetry actually stems when he met Shams Tabriz. That's basically it. Hold on for 1 second. I'm rambling, actually. I'm actually rambling on this.
No, it's great.
Yeah, so it's hard to start, but it is.
So, what brought you into that particular order, let alone Sufism, let alone Islam in general?
Well, it's kind of strange. I was just exploring, basically. I was really into like yoga and a lot of, not New Age, but basically a lot of Hindu texts and Rigveda. So I was really looking for a practice, and I had, my circles, a lot of my friends were Muslims, but however, they were more about the identity of it instead of the practice. So I actually went out to search myself, and I started reading upon it, and I was really interested in it. However, I had issues with a lot of the way you know, the religion actually viewed the world, and I felt that it was, you know, a lot of concepts like Christianity, it was no different, but what attracted me was more of the practice. Um, However, you know, mind you, like I was going through a Salafist mosque, and it's almost like you had to change your whole identity, and I didn't want to do that. I was looking for something much more. Um, and then I saw this retreat, and it was the Mugari order, and I went, and literally, that's when I really truly converted. I was like, this is for me. This is what I want to do. I just found it. I couldn't believe what I just found. And it beautified actually my concept of Islam, and I actually understood what the Quran was saying for the first time, but internally, not so much somebody speaking, but literally, you know, having no concepts of what the Quran is meant to say. It, it, it was literal but symbolic at the same time. It was really hard to explain, but the experience that I had was more emotional than anything. The rationalization and, you know, came later on. It kind of progressed from there. And again, it was like I was going through a period of refinement and how I related to the world. So it was very internal, it was very personal. I never felt that I had to defend my faith. It was nothing about that or wanted to know it was true. It was something that I had to find within myself, that I had to start maturing as a person. Thus, things started happening where I got married, I started having a family, and my spiritual struggle was, even though it was getting harder, it put things in perspective, and it put things that I could actually see the beauty of my pain and my struggle. And through the guidance of my faith, it helped me, you know, to go through a lot of things I had to go through. So my faith was actually a great benefit to me. And I was able, and uniquely, for the first time, I was able to see other faiths as, and even much more beautiful, and I enjoyed seeing it. I enjoyed seeing other faiths, and I enjoyed seeing other perspectives in different philosophies. I wasn't in the shell that I had the truth. It had nothing to do with that. It was just something that I was just free from. And I feel that way. I'm free from that, and I feel that I'm free. And I'm able to enjoy, like I could go to an atheistic room. Some of them are a little bit too much, and I have to go. But more times than not, I just like to enjoy the conversation and listen and learn at the same time.
Right.
But I never felt defensive about Islam or anything like that, because I felt that me internally, I kind of knew what it was and knew what it meant. And sometimes it is kind of a struggle, because sometimes it's hard to explain in words. However, at the end of the day, I feel fine. I feel good.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.